Hello and welcome to an evening with Cora. I'm really excited for this week because we have something a little different, but really exciting. So I have someone that I know who is in Israel. This is the amazing thing with technology again. But hails from New York, so from New York in Israel right now, and we're gonna get the pleasure of chatting with him. He is a sync licensor and producer and songwriter. We will get to know what that means in a moment. So let me introduce you to my guest, Ari Cohen. Hello, Ari. How's it going?
Hey Cora, hitting you up from space, as you can see.
Oh my gosh, you're in space. I thought you were in
I
Israel.
am.
When did you go to space?
Well, I mean, I pop back and forth. You know, it gets a bit hot in the Middle East, so I go to space to cool off and then come back down to
Great idea.
get the equilibrium going. You know.
Your space pad, like.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, this is see, I can't take my mattress with me everywhere I go, but space it's allowed. So it just
And the guitar. You
yeah.
have
And
to.
somehow there's gravity, but only on the mattress, so I don't want to go into that. You know.
Fantastic. I love
Yeah.
it. Awesome. So thank you for coming on this week.
Happy to.
Joining us today. And okay, so I've got a couple of questions for you. So, I mean, you are a songwriter. Well, you're many things. So, give us, what do you do, Ari?
I do I do a lot of things. So in a very quick summation before I go into detail, I make music for sync licensing, which for the people who don't know is the process of synchronizing, which is what sync is short for, of synchronizing music to visual media. So anytime there is a piece of music in an ad or a movie or a TV show or a YouTube video or whatever, it was synchronized with that visual media, and I make music for that purpose. But within that description, there are several jobs. So I'm a songwriter, which means I write the words and music and the chords and the arrangement of songs both by myself and with collaborators. I also do that for hire. I have a few people that I work with that are like my teammates that I write pretty much everything with, but I also, you know, if people want to, if I don't know someone and they like my music and they want me to write for or with them, they can hire me. I'm available. I'm a producer, which means I take songs and take them to a final product, whether that's myself or bring it to a friend of mine who's also a producer. I outsource things. I am a guitarist and vocalist for hire, like a session work. So if you want me to sing on your song or play guitar for your song or arrange a guitar part for your song, I do that as well. I also run a sync licensing agency, which means that I pitch music that I've written and select music from artists who I believe have sync potential in their music, and so I represent their songs for them and I pitch it for them in exchange for, you know, there's a fee and all that. But if you want specifics, you can hit me up for that later. But yeah, I do a bunch of things, but it's all really with the idea of making music and then pitching it for licensing.
Amazing. Thank you for that extensive answer because I didn't fully know what that meant either. So, yeah, brilliant.
I didn't either. As of a year ago, I didn't either. Like it's
Really?
very yeah.
Okay, so have you not always done the sync licensing?
No, it's
Okay.
I'm gonna be 30 soon, and of my 30 years of being alive, I've been a musician for like 25 of them,
Yeah.
and of those 25 years, I've been focusing on sync for about a year and a half.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, what were you doing prior to that mainly?
Wow. So this is a very like I don't know how much time you have honestly, but like the the um the essence of it is I dropped out of college to pursue a career in music, and at the time that meant starting a band with my best friend,
Yeah.
like my childhood best friend who we grown up together and all that, and that obviously it's your first band, so it like fell apart because shit happens. But oh, can I curse on your show? Is that okay?
No, no, it's okay.
All right, cool, sweet, yeah. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what. I
Fine.
don't know if it's PG or whatever. So I started a fucking band with my best friend. No, I'm kidding. And that fell apart for reasons. And then I went to a different band. So I was in a rock band first and playing guitar. Then I went over to like a new metal band where I was also playing guitar. That fell apart for other reasons, and I joined a folk indie band where I started playing acoustic guitar. And then when that fell apart, I started doing solo acoustic stuff, like early John Mayer type things. And I was just kind of figuring out what I wanted to do with music and meandering, and then I took about a 5-year hiatus to kind of reboot myself, which we can talk about in a second if you'd like,
Yeah.
because a lot of shit happened during that time.
Mm.
And when I came out of that rebooting period, I was kind of searching for what I want to do, because I've known that I want to make my living from music since I was like 7 years old, but I didn't know what that meant, because there's a lot of ambiguity and kind of mysteriousness around the music industry. Even for musicians, like it's not something you can just easily look up. Like if you want to become a doctor, like medical school, residency, internship, whatever. Music, it's very more, fluid.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of figuring that out, and then I discovered licensing, and the idea of it really appealed to me, because I'm very I have like severe ADHD, so the idea of being able to work really intensely on one song in one genre, and then like switch to a completely different vibe and have it all be for the same purpose was very appealing to me.
Yeah.
And then through that process also, and the blessing of the pandemic for me, was that I was able to really focus on that and meet a bunch of people who I now collaborate with. And so it kind of just, I kind of like stumbled into it.
Right.
But once I found it, I was like, this is it. Like, that feeling when you find something and you're like, this is the thing, this is it. So for me, that's it. This is my thing.
Amazing. And then when you found that, how did you then just adapt to that way of then writing? So you're saying it's kind of different genres.
Yeah, so it's when before I knew that licensing was a thing that you could focus on. My understanding was that if you make music, you have to sing it or perform it or whatever. And so I was doing things that I was writing music on acoustic guitar and singing it and trying to record it, not really like knowing how to do that or how to go about it, because it's expensive to hire people sometimes, and it's just the whole thing was very ambiguous to me, and I didn't know how to go about it really, other than just writing. But what I did know is how to play guitar, how to write, and how to sing. And so I would write things on acoustic, and that was kind of the end of it. But I wrote like a couple hundred songs, and they were all kind of in the same vibe. Like they were all like Jack Johnson-y, John Mayer, singer-songwriter type stuff, which is fantastic, and I still love that style of music. It's like that's my jam. But
Yeah.
with licensing, it's interesting because I'm not limited to a genre. Because if I write something and it doesn't fit the way I sing, or it doesn't fit my guitar, the way I play guitar, which is also diverse, but I can't play like everything.
Yeah.
Then I find someone who can, and the song still gets made, and it still has a home. It still has a place that I can put it to, and so I'm no longer limited. My ideas are no longer limited to what I'm capable of doing. Like I can just write anything and then find a home for it, and knowing that or discovering that led me to realizing that I'm a really great songwriter and I can write across like a lot of different genres, which
Yeah.
is really exciting, because like I've been working on a funk song today, like a Bruno Mars style funk thing,
Oh, amazing.
and I have like a Lady Gaga pop song that I am in the process of getting produced with someone that I'm actually singing on. I have a song that I made that's like kind of a TikTok-y, like new wave pop thing that I could never sing or play acoustically because it wouldn't sound good, but I still was able to make it, and I can show you that later if you'd like. So it's very exciting. But yeah, I forgot what your original question was, but if I've answered it, let me know.
No, no, you did. No, that's brilliant. And what would you say to someone out there who's watching that maybe it was resonated with what you're saying, but kind of are in that space of wanting to write more, but not having the physical capabilities or the musical capabilities or the singing. So how would you say to someone to get into something like the sync? What advice would you
When
give?
you say you don't have they don't have the capability, is this hypothetical person? Do you mean
Yeah.
that they songwrite but can't sing, can't play an instrument, or?
Let's say that.
Okay, well, so that if you can't play an instrument but you're songwriting, I assume that's called top lining. That's writing the lyrics and melody that are sung, and that's a job. People, I do that as well. It's part of the vocal work that I do in songwriting, is that people will like have a full arrangement of something and have no words for it and no vocal melody, and so they'll hire someone to come in on it, and you can make good money in that. So if that's your thing and that's what you do, then find people who are making beats, find artists who you think play and produce really well, but you think their voice is shit, or you think that you think their lyrics are crap, and tell them like, yo, I love your music, I would love to work with you, but in your head, like, I'm gonna make your shit better.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, but that's the main thing, is like focus on what you're able to do, focus on like your strengths, and find places that need that. Like I'm part of the reason I'm not pursuing an artist thing is because my strengths can't speak. My strengths are not in like building a social media empire brand. Like I have no invested interest in that. Like I have a social media page. I have an Instagram that I run, and I am growing and use for my business, but I'm not like the way that, this is just the first example that came in my head, but the way that Ariana Grande has like a curated page that looks kind of like all in the same style, and like it's all like to serve her image as an artist.
Yeah.
That's not me. And so that's part of why sync is so attractive to me, is because I was trying to do that for a while, and once I realized I don't have to, I can focus on what I'm good at, which is songwriting, guitar, singing, production, and people, which is the networking part of sync. If I can focus on those things, and that's enough. So I think the advice to someone who's resonating with what I'm saying would be, figure out what you're good at, be honest with yourself. Like, you might like singing, but if you're crap, that's okay. Just like figure out what you're good at and what you like doing, and figure out how to serve the world with that, because there's a space for it somewhere,
Yeah, nice. And moving on to kind of you now with your songwriting, who would you say, or what, who and what?
I love your thinking hands. I love like what would you say is
I'm trying to pick out my
apex of your I love it. I'm sorry, please continue.
It's picking out and giving it to you.
I do the same. I talk with my hands. It's Italian thing. It's
So who and what inspires your songwriting?
Stylistically, or like who inspires my creativity? That there's a word for that already. Creativity.
Creativity. So I guess, however you want to answer that. So maybe when you look to start writing a song, where do you grab your inspiration from? Maybe.
Wow.
Could be many.
This is a difficult question. Let me think for a second, because so off the top of my head, stylistically, I don't have like an inspiration, because I listen to tons of music across so many different genres that I couldn't tell you like, oh, this person is what I write like, or who I write like, or who I sound like.
Yeah.
Because I could say that for 50, like I can't even count. Like every artist, like if sometimes I'll hear a song on Spotify and I'll be like, oh, I wonder what I song in that style. I've never done that before, so I'll just like hop in and try it.
Yeah.
So stylistically, I think this is gonna sound really arrogant, but my biggest inspiration stylistically is myself, because I just go with where my brain tells me something sounds good. But for sparking creativity, a couple different people come to mind. The first one, in terms of like who makes me go, wow, that's an amazing songwriter, I want to be like that person, and like I aspire to be like them, is John Mayer.
Yeah.
In terms of who he is as a person, I don't know him personally, so I can't comment on his character, but like as an artist and as a songwriter and guitarist, every time I hear something of his, like I could, if you name me any song from his discography, I could probably play it for you like from heart by now. But every time I've heard his music, it's made me go, how the hell did you write that? How? Like, when will I be that good? So that's first inspiration, current inspiration. But my first, I think, inspiration is my dad, because my dad is also a composer and songwriter, and in his own vein. And so since I was a kid, that's who I heard his songs growing up all the time.
Yeah.
So that was my first thing of like seeing someone create something and then it being a thing and then other people acknowledging that it's a thing and then taking part of the thing. So, yeah,
Lovely. That's a really lovely answer. Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm glad. I felt like I was meandering.
No, it's great. I just why I love seeing people talk about what inspires them, and I do love that because it's different for everyone, and maybe what you've just said maybe have inspired someone else. And I do recommend you check out John Mayer though if you haven't. Ari introduced me to John Mayer. He played me Neon, and I was like, oh my god. So definitely, and he's on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, get on.
Yeah, he's on TikTok. I love that he's on TikTok. It's so fun.
I
Oh
love
my
it.
god.
He put something out earlier. It was a really inspirational little speech. So,
Oh, how things are and how they seem.
yes.
Yeah, I sent that to a friend of mine. We were talking about that the other day because there's a lot of imposter syndrome that goes into pursuing a creative career where you're kind of surrounded by a sea of equally big fish,
Hmm.
and it's really easy to get lost in that.
Hmm.
But all of that is how things seem, not how they are.
Yeah.
And so it was funny. I saw that on TikTok and was like, my friend needs to see this. So
Yeah, it was really nice actually. So let me see what else I've got here. Oh, I've had a question because I do ask our watchers what kind of questions they like to have answered. And there was this one question that came up, and they wanted to know, as a songwriter, if you write something for an artist or a sync or whatever it is, um, has your song ever been changed, as in the genre? So you might write something in a country folk pop style.
100%, 100%,
Yeah, okay. So how does that
absolutely
feel as the songwriter to have it changed?
great. The song found its home.
Great. Okay.
Like there's no attachment to. That's another thing. Like there's okay. What I'm about to say might sound condescending to someone, but it's not meant to be at all. There are two kinds of musicians. There are musical hobbyists and professional musicians, and neither is better or worse than the other. But a musical hobbyist makes music for themselves, which is beautiful. And sometimes you get amazing music that way. Like Jeff Buckley did that, and he made some of the greatest music of all time.
Yeah.
But the difference is that when you work in music, there's no space for ego or attachment. And again, not to say that ego is like a negative thing. When you're writing music for yourself and you're just like expressing your creativity with zero boundaries and no limitations and no rules and no destination in mind, you can come up with some really cool stuff, and you're very like attached to it and how it comes out, which is also like kind of how I felt about things before I transitioned into working in what I do now. But when you work as a professional, and especially with as a songwriter, and especially as a songwriter for licensing, there's no room for attachment to a song. And so if you write something and then your co-writer says that that section is crap, you have to, in order to be successful, you have to say, you have to either like agree with them or disagree with them, but you can't get hurt by it and you can't be attached to what you have. You have to just continually put out things until you find the right pieces. And so this happened last week. Someone hired me to write a song with her, so she had like kind of a loose outline of lyrics and a melody, a top line, which is the lyric and melody. And she hired me to figure out the chords and arrangement for it and to help her polish what she had. And the style originally was going to be this kind of quasi musical theatery Panic at the Disco type thing, very like ba 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 ba. And then we were talking about the production, and somehow this Demi Lovato song came up, where it's this like anthemic like boom, ba, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba. And all of a sudden I was like, that's gonna make the song kick like 1,000 times harder. And I didn't even feel before that like the song was really missing something, because I was excited about it because I'm proud of the work I do. But the second I heard this, I was like, fuck our other arrangement, that's going in the trash immediately. Promise you that this style will fit it better, and it does, and now the song is better. So
Brilliant.
when the song's style changes at any point in the song's life, if it suits the song, then I feel happy, and whoever asked that question should feel as well, because what's the point of making a song if it doesn't live its best life? You know, like you have a kid, you want it to grow up and do its best thing. Our songs are our little babies, and they need to, grow up and figure out who they are and find their home. And we all go through phases, like had an emo phase and had like a kind of a ratchet phase, but you find who you are, and so songs go through phases too. Sometimes it might start off as country, it might become a pop song, it might become, you let the song go where it goes.
Yeah, nice. Amazing. And we've got a song that you've allowed us to share today. So do you want to talk us through what that is, and then we'll hear it?
No. Yeah, sure. What if I just like changed my mind? I was like, no, I don't want to play it anymore.
No, actually, I don't want to play it now. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I changed my mind. You can just leave the section blank, just like the listeners. Hear 3 minutes of dead air. So this song is just as I met with one of my collaborators for a writing session. I write weekly. I write 2 to 3 songs a week when I'm in my writing season, and we met. And just this song came out. We were just feeling this kind of vibe. There's really not much more to it than that. We felt this kind of upbeat, energetic, inspirational thing. Decided that the vibe would be more like kind of modern punk, pop, rock style. Yeah. And wrote it, got it produced, and now we're pitching it places. And I'm really proud of it. It's a super fun song. And it's called "Get Up and Go," and yeah, that's really all there is to it.
Amazing. Well, let's.
Oh, sorry, I need to mention my co-writer. So I wrote it. I wrote it with Marina Bennett, who is on Instagram, and all you can find her. I think it's just Marina Bennett Music. And then our producer was Dan Trilk, who I believe his Instagram is old Big Bear, or it might just be Dan Trilk Music. But they were both there was no member of the creative process that contributed more or less than the other. It was entirely collaborative. So like Dan didn't write the song with us, but it would not sound the way it does without him. So he is an integral part of the reason it sounds the way it is. And so everyone go follow them, and after you follow me, but go follow them too.
Yeah, I'll share the links as well in
Yeah.
the description so everyone can go follow them. Brilliant. Okay, well let's hear this. Then I'm excited. Let's hear this song, Get Up and Go.
Get up and go.
jazz hands at the end.
That was amazing.
I
Oh my
love that we
gosh.
both were playing the world's teeniest guitar solo.
I know. I don't know why I always do that, but
I do
again,
the same thing. I'm always like, it's a guitar the size of the phone, just like
yeah. I love it.
channeling our Jack Black pantomime.
Oh,
Sorry?
there's so many elements in that song. I noticed like the laughter and the woos and the little bits like that just make it
Yeah, there are 16
amazing.
guitar parts in there.
16.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Yeah.
was amazing. How long did it
Yeah.
take you to write?
About an hour and a half, I think.
Nice. Is that
This is my
difficult?
job. Like, it's that's also another fun, really amazing thing about like the not having preciousness with your music is that when you're not precious about the ideas, the more ideas like come out and they're more free because you're not so like, oh, I had an idea, it has to be this idea. Like, no, you
Yeah.
can have shit ideas. It's okay. Like you're allowed to have crap to filter through. You're not supposed to just like pop out a gem every time you open your face, you know? So it's
Yeah.
so it took about an hour and a half, I think, to write that, and then then we like refined it a bit and came up with a more specific arrangement. Like we want the guitar to come in this way in this section, have the bass come in this way, blah blah blah. But the lyrics, melody, and the chords and the general idea came through in like about an hour, hour and a half.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing it with us. It was great to hear
Happy to.
a little something there. So, if you can tell the people watching where we can follow you, I know you've got Patreon page and stuff. Yeah, I'll put the links down below. But
Wait.
where would you like?
Yeah, so I'm on every social media platform as Ari Cohen Music, but the one I'm most active on is Instagram and then TikTok. I also have a Patreon where I show behind the scenes videos of my writing sessions, of production sessions, recording sessions. I share like song demo ideas, little acoustic like voice notes and stuff that might not ever get released. I share my music before, if something is going to go out for streaming, then I share it there about a week and a half or two before it gets released, so you can hear stuff before anyone else can. I also have like hangouts online with people, so there's a bunch of stuff. So that is also Patreon/Ari Cohen Music, like everything else.
Yeah.
And if you want me to if you want to hire me to write or sing or play guitar or do any of the things that I do, you can go to my link tree. It's on my Instagram, and you can like hire me to do that stuff. You can go to my website. You can also go to my company's website, which is canarysound.com, and canary is spelled with a K and an I, and there's a reason for that if you'd like to go into it. But yeah, canarysound.com is also where you can find some of the stuff that I do. So
Amazing, lovely. All those links you'll find below in the description. So go follow Ari. Thank you so much. Just to finish us off then, Ari, before I let you go, I always ask people this just to see what little nuggets we can get. So if you were to give the people out there watching there today just one piece of advice about anything, it could be music, could be something else, what would that be?
give up. It's really easy. No. Honestly, I had so what I'm gonna say is gonna sound. It might sound kind of like happy-go-lucky, like overly optimist, but it comes from a place of having faced harsh realism over the last year because the pandemic kind of forced me to hone in on things. And the advice I'm going to give is follow your joy. And what that means is we are raised, I don't know when this started, I don't know why it started, but we collectively as a species have been born into a society that tells you that you have to have financial security before anything else. And so that causes people to go look for jobs that they wind up hating and then staying in because they're making money, or having anxiety about like, if I don't find a job, I'm never going to have success, or if I don't go to college, or I don't blah, blah, blah. There is not one single path to success, both financial or personal. And so you can have success or you can have a failure in something that doesn't make you happy. And because of that, why not just choose to do something that, makes you happy and find the success in that? Because there is a way to make a living off of the thing that brings you the most joy. And so there's, oh, what's the word? There's a Japanese term for this. It's the thing that you're best at, and the thing that brings you the most joy, and something that serves the world in some way. And those, if you can find the thing that is all three of the, it's called your ikigai. I just remember it. If you can find your ikigai, it is the thing that you're good at, that you're best at, that serves the world, and that can make you money. And there is that for every single person. Like there is a 75-year-old lady out there hand knitting sweaters for puppies, and she is making a killing, I guarantee you. Like, there is a way to make money doing what you love, and so figure out what you love doing, and then figure out how you can serve the world with that, and the money will follow. And it is so much better. I've made good money before. I worked on Wall Street for about a year and a half, doing like sales. I worked as a private tutor, making tons of money, and in the last year, I've been financially, because of the pandemic, the last year I've been financially the brokest I've ever been, but I have never had a better year in my entire life, because I've been able to make a living, a basic living, even through the pandemic, doing something that I wake up every single day excited doesn't even begin to describe it. Like, someone asked me recently how I haven't gone crazy being in isolation during the pandemic, because I live alone and I've been staying basically in quarantine. It's because I wake up every day filled with limitless passion and excitement for what I'm doing, even though it is not as financially lucrative at the moment as other jobs that I've worked before. And so find what you love doing, figure out how to make money with it, you will, and be patient, and don't compare yourself to other people. Yeah.
Amazing. There's so many things in there that I just like love. So thank you so much.
Happy to.
Great advice. So thank you so much, Ari, for coming on today. It's been lovely to chat with you. And everyone go follow Ari. He's amazing. And he's so inspirational and funny. So that's good too. Good to follow. So I'll let you go. But thank you so much again. And I'll speak to you soon. Okay, oh, amazing. How amazing is he? Right, so as always, I'm just going to finish off today with a little quote for you. Apparently Freddie Mercury said this. I don't know how true that is, but this was like, you know, the quotes and they say Freddie Mercury, whatever. But I thought it was really nice, and it actually follows on well from what Ari was saying. So this says, someone will always be prettier. Someone will always be smarter. Someone will always be younger. But they will never be you. That's it. Stop comparing yourself to other people. No one ever can replicate who you are. And there is a special something that you have that no one else has. So from what Ari was saying and what I say as well, find that something within yourself and just go for it. Love you lots. Have a fantastic week. And thank you again for joining us. Much love.